Hey, what is up guys and welcome back to my channel. So, are mini ITX PCs really the future of gaming? Well, let's find out in today's video. So, mini ITX PCs can often be as small as your router and speaker. Wait a moment, did I just say router and speaker? Hey, editor, cut this out. Okay, these mini ITX PCs can often be as small as these next-gen consoles, and I'm talking about the PS5 and the Xbox Series S. But are these really the future? Would we just ditch ATX for these really small form factor PCs? Let me break it down for you. Okay, so we're gonna be figuring out just that in today's video. But before that, I wanna remind you all to hit that red subscribe button down there along with the notification bell so you do not miss out on any future upcoming content. Okay, so let's start by talking about the pros and cons of a mini ITX PC. Now the pros are that obviously it's very portable. You can take it everywhere you want. Obviously you cannot take it out and work in a plane like you can do with a laptop, but you can take it into your hotel room. You can easily start doing your work and stuff. And there was also a very portable monitor that was launched by Asus ROG, which I think was 17 inches, as you can see here. And this monitor is extremely portable, and this, along with a mini ITX PC of a very small and slim form factor, can easily be very portable and can be the ultimate portable gaming setup, or working setup rather. Now the next pro that I want to talk about is minimalism. Now people who don't want overly heavy sized ATX towers next to their gaming desks, then those people are the ones who are looking for mini ITX PCs. These PCs, as I said, can be very slim like this, or they can be very thick and very, not at all tall like this. And these PCs can pack a lot of power for their size. Do not mistake them for their small size. A channel by the name of Optimum Tech, you can definitely go check him out. He is amazing at building mini ITX PCs. He squashed in a 9900K and a 2080 Ti custom water cooled into this N-Case M1, I believe is the name. Yeah, you can do custom water cooling in a mini ITX case if you didn't know you could. So do not mistake these guys for their size. But there are some problems, which brings us to the cons of mini ITX PCs. Now the first con is compatibility issues. Now manufacturers often optimize their parts for ATX cases because that's the most popular, and you can often run into compatibility issues in terms of space. Now if you do run into compatibility issues, you will have to start modding the case on your own to make sure everything fits. Now this can be quite challenging for novice builders and can often be terrifying if they break their expensive parts. But for people who are experts and pros in PC building, who have a lot of experience, this can be quite fun because they take it up as a challenge. But people who really want to build these small PCs are mostly novice builders, and I do not recommend building a mini ITX PC as your first PC unless someone else is building it for you. Now another problem is cost. Mini ITX parts are often very expensive compared to that of ATX parts. And that is because manufacturers have to find new ways to squish those big ATX sized board features into this tiny mini ITX board. One of the really good examples of that is an M.2 slot, which is at the back of the board to save space. And since the board is really dense and you need to pack all those features into such a small board, the R&D of that type of thing costs a lot of money, and the motherboard's price also goes up by $50 to $100. Now mini ITX cases are also really expensive. They can be upwards of $250, especially if they're really small. And ATX cases, which cost $250, are almost non-existent except for some cases. Most of your ATX cases, even at the top end, only cost about $160 to $180, sometimes topping out at over $200. Now another problem is future upgradability. Now because these cases are very limited and are very small, there is zero to no chance of future upgradability, because say a higher power CPU comes out, it can be difficult to cool such high core and high threaded CPUs. That's not to say it cannot be done. It has been done by many PC builders in the past or even now, but it's a bit of a difficulty trying to keep very largely powered processors cool in such a small form factor case. Now that was it for the pros and cons. Now, will I actually buy it? The question is, will I actually buy it for myself? And the answer is no, because really I prioritize power over portability. Now for something that I need to do portably, I can buy something like a laptop. I don't really see the need of a mini ITX build for myself, but I will consider that in the future if I really have the need for it. Now that's not to say that nobody should get it. Now it really again depends on the person's priorities. If you're a guy who keeps traveling and wants to do work on the go, and you're just not enough with the power that a laptop gives, then mini ITX PCs can be really good for you. Now mini ITX PCs can't really defeat laptops because you have to connect peripherals as well, which is going to add bulk, and you also have to connect an external monitor, while for a laptop it's just that one single slab. So mini ITX PCs really can't dethrone laptops, but mini ITX PCs can still be portable enough to take around with you inside a laptop bag, especially with that really portable monitor that I told you about in the beginning of the video. Now to wrap things up, mini ITX PCs are for people who want to prioritize portability over functionality and power. So mini ITX PCs, if you guys are building one, then definitely be sure to check out some tutorials on YouTube. There are really good tutorials on YouTube, and make sure to do your research before buying any parts, because then you will run into compatibility issues if you don't, and I'm talking about in terms of size. Now if you're building your first mini ITX PC, I don't recommend going with a very small form factor case like an N-Case M1, which can be really small and it's difficult to do cable routing and all of that unless you have experience. So if you're a first time mini ITX PC builder, I recommend going with something more bigger like an NZXT H210. Now these cases are way bigger than these N-Case M1 style cases, and they have way more space. So if you're a novice mini ITX builder, I recommend going with something like an NZXT H210 for your first build. Even an NZXT H1 Mini is a really good choice. Now that pretty much wraps things up, and to answer the question in the video, will mini ITX PCs really be the future of gaming? The answer to that is not really, because ATX PCs really have a whole market of their own, and mini ITX PCs is more of a niche market, and mini ITX PCs cannot be the future. ATX PCs will also be present, and slowly but surely we will be moving towards that small form factor, but I don't think that's going to be happening anytime soon. Anyways guys, that was pretty much it for this video. If you liked the video, leave a like and please subscribe to the channel, because we're so close to 100 subscribers, and it will really help me if you could subscribe and show your support. And we also have a lot of cool stuff coming up on the channel. I'm talking about Ryzen 5000 and Big Navi, so stay tuned for that. And as always, it's Nikhil signing out from Nikhil Talks Tech, and we'll see you in the next video. Until then, thanks for watching.